Some of the images of the first 3 innings in this one. The Jake Arrieta home run got the party started for the visitors. The homestanding Giants have since countered with one of their own. And it's Arrieta leading things off in the visitors' half of the 4th. Arrieta then the top of the order, Fowler and Bryant. And what has been a heavy pitch count night for Madison Bumgarner. Threw more pitches through the first 3 in this one than he ever had through the first 3 innings of a postseason start. Among those watching and enjoying Arrieta at the plate comes catcher David Ross, who joins us here in the 4th. Dave, thanks for the time, and walk us through what was happening in the dugout when Jake hit the home run.
It was mayhem. I mean, guys were going crazy. Everybody's hugging one another. You know, it was you know, playoff atmosphere. Everybody's on the edge of their seat in here, and he hit it pretty good. We know how strong he is, and it got over that fence, and this dugout went crazy. He's
a little different dude, huh? We know all about the Pilates protocol. We're taking a look at the home run here again. I know there was an article that Tom Verducci did in spring training, Dave, about Jake and his training. This is a guy that wakes up with 24 ounces of cold water and then 24 ounces of cold pressed juice, and he goes about it a little differently than everybody else.
He does. I mean, it's one of those guys that is always conscious of what he's putting in his body and how he's treating his body. Works out like an animal. I've never seen. I mean, all our pitching staff does, but he's just different in the way he does it, and he's a big human being and puts a lot of good stuff in his body. It's impressive to be around every day.
David, I know you've caught a lot of pitchers in your day, but when you have had a chance to catch a Jake Arrieta, can you explain how much movement he's actually creating? I mean, every pitch has some kind of movement on it.
The tough part, I got to face him in Boston. He almost no-hit us in 14, and then I coming over here and catching him. The tough part is he's on the third base side of the rubber and throwing kind of across his body with a high front side, and he's bringing, you know, 94 to 96 away and back. You know, it sinks back to the plate or into a righty, and he can dot that down away pretty well. And he's got a 91 mile cutter off that to go with a really good curveball and a decent change. So he's got a repertoire for you, and can really he's got a lot of deception that he's featuring.
On the same token, you faced Madison Bumgarner. Explain how from the same side of the rubber as a left-hander, he throws across his body and creates some deception. Even though a right-handed hitter should have some advantage, he makes it tough on everybody when he's pitching as well as he does. You don't face that angle. I mean, it's like he's more rotational than most pitchers, and he's coming from a weird angle.
Great diving stop by Brandon Crawford in time to get Fowler.
That was nice.
Well, Crawford and Russell, 2 of the best shortstops in the National League, maybe in the game, and the arm strength speaks for itself as well.
Swing, Jack.
This is a guy who can absolutely run down the line. You see him throw and recoil.
What a play. Yeah, there's some gold up the middle in this game. These guys are impressive.
Crawford, the reigning Gold Glove winner at shortstop in the National League. And with 2 gone now, here's Chris Bryant.
But Bum, to go back to your point, he's just coming from that, you know, in between sidearm and over the top, and he's got such deception. He throws that cutter that's coming in at you and just disappears. I mean, he's one of those guys you feel like you're right on that ball, and now he's mixing his breaking the ball even more. He's throwing me some change-ups, and he pitches to both sides of the plate, down and up. I mean, this guy is as good as it gets.
Counts 2 balls and no strikes to Chris Bryant. Dave, we appreciate the visit here with 2 out in the inning. I mean, we're the kind of guys that would ask you a question and then there's a ground ball to end it. So we'll save everybody that embarrassment and tell you thanks for joining us.
Or a homer.
Or, you know, even that possibly.
All right, let's think positive.
We appreciate the time, Dave.
Anytime, guys. Always a pleasure.
2 balls and a strike to count to Bryant. Chris has doubled and walked in this one tonight, batting with 2 out and the bases empty in a 3-1 game, top of the 4th. Bumgarner a strike away from his first 1-2-3 inning of the night.
Well, you see this delivery right here. He throws a curveball. See where he steps? See his point of landing? That's across your body. And that's what David Ross was talking about.
Bryant lines a pitch into center, and there will not be a 1-2-3 inning here in the 4th.
It's interesting. Both pitchers pitch from the same side of the rubber. One left-handed, one right-handed. You won't find a spot bigger between the two. This pitch right here has made Bryant probably the MVP in the numbers that he put up this year. His ability to stay on the ball this year much better. Cut down on his strikeouts. The power numbers go up and the strikeouts go down. There's the two spots I'm talking about. Of course, Arrieta throws across his body from the right-hand side. That's why you see the farther spot over there.
So the 2-out base runner report for Bryant's biggest competition for league MVP honors this year is teammate Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo looking for his first hit of the postseason. Drove in a career best 109 runs during the regular season this year. One. You know, we've already talked about Travis Wood, who hit the big home run in Game 2 in Chicago on Saturday night. Travis Wood and Anthony Rizzo are the longest tenured members of this roster. And according to Gordon Whitmire, the Chicago Sun-Times, who had this over the weekend, the only two players in franchise history to endure a 100-loss season, which they did in 2012, and enjoy a 100-win season, which they have this year, the Cubs winning 103 games. Rizzo shortening up on 2 strikes as he has all year, and swinging and missing. 4 strikeouts for Bumgarner. He keeps the Cubs off the board in the 4th.
Anyone with type 2 diabetes knows how it feels to see your numbers go up, despite your best efforts. But what if you could turn things around? What if you could love your numbers? Discover once daily Invokana. It's the #1 prescribed SGLT2 inhibitor that works to lower A1C. A pill taken just once in the morning, Invokana is used along with diet and exercise to significantly lower blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes. In fact, it's been proven to be more effective at lowering A1C than Januvia. Invokana works around the clock by reducing the amount of sugar allowed back into the body and sending some sugar out through the process of urination. And while it's not for lowering systolic blood pressure or weight loss, it may help you with both. Invokana can cause important side effects, including dehydration, which may cause you to feel dizzy, faint, lightheaded, or weak upon standing. Other side effects may include kidney problems, genital yeast infections, changes in urination, high potassium, increases in cholesterol, risk of bone fracture, or urinary tract infections, possibly serious. Serious side effects may include ketoacidosis, which can be life-threatening. Stop taking and call your doctor right away if you experience symptoms, or if you experience symptoms of allergic reaction, such as rash, swelling, or difficulty breathing or swallowing. Do not take Invokana if you have severe liver or kidney problems or are on dialysis. Tell your doctor about any medical conditions and medications you take. Using Invokana with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. It's time to turn things around. Lower your blood sugar with Invokana. Imagine loving your numbers. There's only one Invokana. Ask your doctor about it by name.
You can't always protect her. Make sure her tires will. The Michelin Premier Tire with EverGrip technology. Even when half worn, it's still safe. Safe when new, safe when worn.
This is Lynchburg, Tennessee. This is how many people were born here. This is how many are named Hiawatha Kitty McGee. This guy keeps the town dry. These guys would prefer it a little wet. This many are proud of what we make here. This is how many will go around bragging about it. This is our town. For 150 years, the home of Jack Daniels. If you can't get here, just look for one of our postcards. They look like this.
Still a 3-1 Cubs lead as we start the bottom of the fourth. Connor Gillespie, Brandon Crawford, and Joe Panik against Jake Arrieta. Gillespie grounded out back to Arrieta to start the second. He opens the fourth. His Giants, since having gotten one of those runs back. Another comeback. And Gillespie retired the same way to start the fourth.
Well, we talked about Bumgarner. Here's the opposite. This guy makes it awfully difficult. Look where he's looking in two different parts, and he gets ready to deliver the ball. If you're a right-handed hitter, good luck. He throws across his body, and he makes a last-minute adjustment and creates some kind of movement on the ball. You don't see the ball behind his head. Those are the difficult things. That's why you see the Giants stacking their lineup, as most people will with left-handers. Visually, it just looks very difficult if you're a right-handed hitter. And even as a left-handed hitter, you're seeing him throw the ball from such a cross-the-body position with tremendous movement. So Jake Arrieta uses not only his mechanic as a weapon, he uses every pitch that can sink away, break it down. He throws the hard cutter, and of course we haven't seen a lot of changeups. He hasn't needed too many of those tonight.
One note, Brandon Crawford has swung on and missed. And Ken Rosenthal, there are some similarities, certainly similarities in results for Jake Arrieta and Madison Bumgarner.
Right, and John has been talking all night about the similarity in styles, and Arrieta mentioned to me that similarity before this series even started. He said that Bumgarner is so deceptive. I feel like we have a lot in common in that regard. We can miss in the middle of the plate a lot more than other guys. The angle, the depth is hard to pick up. The feedback I know he gets, I get the same thing from the other team. People say to me, it looks like you're throwing the ball from shortstop.
Ball and 2 strikes, the count to Brandon Crawford. You know, and this was not always Jake Arrieta. Cub fans are certainly familiar with his renaissance. He was not this guy when he got to Chicago.
No, he's throwing a lot more four-seamers when he was with Baltimore, and he did struggle a little bit more mentally and with his mechanics. He's righted that ship. Physically, he's a beast out there and certainly looks the part. But being able to repeat.
He gets Crawford on strikes. That's 5 for Arrieta through 3 2/3.
Just the physics of throwing a baseball is unique in itself. But watch him get down on this cutter. That late break. That one's going to be actually the slider. That late break that he gets, the hitter just cannot recognize the depth of that ball at the last minute.
Two gone, bases empty now for Joe Panik. When Jake Arrieta got to the Cubs via trade, he was one of a number of young Baltimore property right-handed starters who looked like the career hype wasn't going to pan out. A guy with an ERA in the 5s. He'd had some success, but nowhere near the dominant Jake Arrieta that he's been in 3.5 years in Chicago. As a Cub, 54-21 with a 2.52 ERA in 98 starts. Panik sends a sinking liner into center. That's going to drop in for a base hit.
Well, Matt, he's just tough to hit. I mean, even the second half didn't go great, but his opponent's batting average was better than the first half. It went down. 197 in the first half, 191 in the second half. The walks started to creep up, and then some timely hits in runners in scoring position as you see the line score between the two guys. So it is very difficult to string 3 and 4 hits against either of these guys. That's why if the Giants can find ways to attack the base paths once they get on, then they only need 1 hit, 2 hits, and they're back in the game.
Panik was on base in the second after a 2-out walk and did not try to run. We'll see if he has any intentions of doing it here as Gregor Blanco lays off the first pitch, a ball and no strikes.
I just think you got to try it. I mean, I know they're going to probably pinch hit for Bumgarner as you see the bullpen going again, but you've got to force the action, put some heat on Arrieta with 2 outs.
You saw Derek Law up in the Giants bullpen. Eduardo Nunez is standing in the on-deck circle. Shouldn't get that far, and it's now 2 balls and no strikes to Blanco. You know, as good as Arrieta is and has been with the Cubs, Joe Madden shared with us before the game, there continue to be little 5, 6, 8 pitch ruts where the mechanics fail Arrieta and things go bad. The difference is when Jake's throwing well, he's able to get out of that funk sooner rather than later. He's fallen behind Blanco at 3-0, and at least the results tell you here, John, that he might be in one of those funks.
Well, you need a certain discipline, a guy that's not going to hit and try to hit a home run, because that's awfully difficult anyways. But you've got to be patient. You've got to work up his count. Each inning and each ability to throw more and more pitches will give yourself a chance to fight in this game.
Blanco taking all the way, and Arrieta nails the corner. Yeah, so much for being in a funk. I mean, when you're Jake Arrieta, a 3-0 count represents a slump. Full count to Blanco now, 3-2.
You see, that's the confidence he has in all of his pitches. He doesn't just say 3-1 fastball, here you come. He throws a 3-1 slider, and now as a hitter, you have no idea what he's going to do.
Same situation that Blanco had against him in the second. Panic at first with 2 gone. Arrieta struck him out with a breaking ball in that circumstance. Fouls away the fastball here.
See, they set up in. He trusts his 2-seamer that's going to sink and move back towards the strike zone. They set up in. He throws a 2-seamer. He's going to trust it's going to move. You see the late movement. Of course, fouls it off.
Panic will be on the move again on 3-2. Out of the stretch is Arrieta. Here's his next payoff pitch. We've seen the whole arsenal tonight. 68 pitches for Arrieta this evening. The changeup, one of his top weapons. Arrieta gets a higher percentage of swings and misses on that pitch than anybody in baseball. There goes Panic again. Blanco sends a fly ball into the opposite field for Soler, and nothing comes of the 2-out single. Jake Arrieta has been the story tonight on both sides of the scorecard. The Cubs on top by 2.
Have you ever noticed how some people in life seem to get away with everything? We live our lives from an elevated perspective.
You're late.
Time's a relative concept.
Well, I see you have mastered the laws of gravity.
We are the masters of time and space.
And we all drive Jaguars.
The all-new Jaguar F-Pace. For great offers, visit your local Jaguar retailer today.
If Buster Posey wanted to save money...
Hey, Lenny. Hey, Buster. Got my toothbrush.
He wouldn't live out of his locker.
What are you doing?
Doing my socks.
He'd save money with Esurance. Because Buster's a smart person, and smart people get Esurance. Official sponsor of Major League Baseball.
Hi, gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Spread sunshine all over the place. And put on a happy face.
I'm a big fan of my Bank of America mobile banking app. I can manage my accounts, deposit checks, get alerts, pay my bills, and more. I'm a big fan of this team, too. In fact, I tried out to be the mascot. Apparently, I'm overqualified. I do not have an overbite.
Hey man, why aren't you streaming my game?
Hey Bryce. I can't. See, I've got Verizon and I've already reached my data limit.
You know this is the postseason, right?
Yeah,
You could be missing a classic.
You're killing me, man, but look, more data would cost me a fortune.
What if I just hit a walk-off bomb?
Nah, you didn't. Did you?
Why pay more for data limits? Introducing T-Mobile One. Unlimited data for everyone. Get 4 lines, just $35 a month. Welcome to Unlimited Baseball.
Tonight's telecast is sponsored by Lexus. See your Lexus dealer. And by T-Mobile. Welcome to Unlimited Baseball. Hey, tomorrow the NLDS continues here on FS1. The Nationals take on the Dodgers in an elimination game for Los Angeles. And if necessary, the Giants again look to extend this series here against the Cubs. That's tomorrow on FS1. Jorge Soler leads things off in the Chicago half of the 5th. Back with Hall of Famer John Smoltz and Ken Rosenthal, Matt Vasgersian. A 3-1 Chicago lead. Soler, Zobrist, and Russell against Madison Bumgarner, who may have thrown his last pitch had the Giants the opportunity to send a pinch hitter up in the 4th. But after Blanco flied out, another inning is being asked of the starter, despite a growing pitch count up to 87. 2 balls and a strike on Soler.
You have to be a pretty good athlete to manipulate the ball at the end of a delivery like Madison Bumgarner has. As I mentioned earlier, every pitcher through a season is trying to perfect his mechanics so you don't have to think about it. But he said he's been thinking about it a lot because he's been rusty with it, not comfortable with it. But just think how good he has done when he isn't comfortable with his mechanics. And it started in the beginning of the year, right out of spring training, and really, for the most part, through the season. Dave Righetti does a great job.
Soler with the drive to center field. That ball well hit, but just shy of the track is where Span makes the play. Well, you know Madison Bumgarner pretty well, and I know that you guys have talked about the craft a lot. Has he ever represented to you that he's comfortable with his mechanics, that he's happy with it?
No, he said he's in a constant quest for not only structure and or the perfect mechanics. And the one thing he does better than anybody, despite what the score or the situation is, you never know what's going on. That demeanor and that motor inside is why he can dominate, I believe, in some of the biggest games of his life. And so despite his mechanics, despite his grip pressure, anything that a pitcher thinks about, he's able to, I guess you could say, relax more than most in games where his team is up against elimination.
Ben Zobrist takes a strike, a ball and a strike to the Cubs right fielder. Zobrist is doubled and grounded to shortstop tonight.
But just to give you an example of what kind of a year it's been for him, this is his highest strikeout per 9 he's ever had in his career.
Sharply hit to third for Gillespie and 2 away.
It's the lowest ERA he's ever had in his career, and it's the most home runs he's ever given up in his career. So those combinations make you think about, okay, this guy still has a high ceiling for improving, which is hard to even imagine. And oh, not to mention, they're under control for a while, are the starters for the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing long term. And I would imagine they're going to, in the next year, if not after this year, look at restructuring Madison's.
Breaking ball has Addison Russell out in front. Russell has been hit by a pitch and singled tonight. Bumgarner still looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game. And this may or may not be his final piece of business, because his turn is set to lead things off in the bottom half of the 5th. Do a little looking into your crystal ball there, John. Are we going to see a pinch hitter here, or does Bruce Bochy let him hit again in hopes of more on the mound?
No, I think you're going to see a pinch hitter. The last inning told me that was going to be the case. even as good of a hitter as Bumgarner is, when you're in these situations later, you tend to go with a position player.
Well, George Contos is up for the 3rd time tonight.
And that's usually the number for a reliever right there. You got to get him in after 3.
Contos is already working into the 7th inning down there. It's going to be one of those Sparky Anderson complete games in the bullpen. And we saw Nunez a moment ago. He was in the on-deck circle when the final out was recorded at the bottom of the 4th.
Well, it was in a similar situation, not with the same outs, but he had Russell with 2 strikes. Couldn't put him away. Hit by pitch. Then he had Baez quickly with 2 strikes. Couldn't put him away. A base hit. Got Montero out on a line drive to right. And couldn't put away Arrieta with 2 strikes for 3-run homer.
Trying to finish off Russell here on 2-2. Full count. Javier Baez waits on deck. The Cubs have had 9 runners on base tonight. That includes Arrieta with the home run. 5 of those at-bats were in 2-strike counts.
I mean, he threw 6 2-strike pitches to Russell, 7 to Baez. And when you're in rhythm and making your pitches, which he normally is, this has just been a grind for him. Most pitchers may have given up more runs than the 3 he gave up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. The Cubs could make a case for being on top by a bigger margin than just 2. They're only 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They've stranded 6. Russell sharply hit to shortstop. Throws in the dirt, but dug out nicely by Belt. And with a little help on the receiving end, Madison Bumgarner does issue a 1-2-3 inning. Cubs want to take another look at this to see if Belt came off the bag. He did not. The middle of the night in San Francisco. Chicago on top by 2.
Enjoy your phone.
You too. All right, be cool. You got the amazing new iPhone 7 on the house by switching to AT&T. What? And you got unlimited data because you have DirecTV? Okay, just a few more steps.
Door!
It's cool.
Get the iPhone 7 on us and unlimited data when you switch to AT&T and have DirecTV.
In our quest to reach our greatest heights, we require focus, resolve, and the ability to grip the moment. For it is in these moments that we define ourselves by our determination to never let go. Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball.
Modern life deserves a modern way to pay. Hey, help. Dude. You can use it online and on your phone.
Master passed it. XXXXL.
That's sweet. Coming in for the save. Thank you. Priceless.
Want a napkin?
MasterPass, the secure way to pay from your bank. Don't just buy it, MasterPass it.
Buy one, get one boneless wings.
I know, and I can never choose which one flavor to get.
Right.
So now I can get hot honey and garlic parmesan.
Exactly. It's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, there's way more worlds than that. There's Earth.
Right.
Earth 2.
No.
Schmirth.
Schmirth, that just rhymes with it. That's not a real planet.
Florida.
Florida's a state.
Well, it seems like an entirely other world.
Buy one, get one free boneless wings are out of this world. Monday through Thursday after 5 p.m. In the AM, try a breakfast French toaster. This is how you Sonic.
You sound like a man who is afraid that I am dead right.
You talk about the Cowboys and the Patriots like they're like your kids. What am I missing?
This is the place to be.
You won't listen.
I do not hate LeBron James. In fact, I like him. I don't like it.
I love it.
That's the hottest seat in sports media. This is undisputed.
Still a 3-1 ball game in San Francisco. Jake Arrieta back to work. He'll face a pinch hitter leading off the inning. Eduardo Nunez bats in Bumgarner's spot to open the fifth. Nunez then the top of the order, Span and Belt. Eduardo Nunez has been unable to start in the postseason. Wasn't even on the wild card roster on Wednesday because of a hamstring strain that slowed him down. A ball and a strike to him, and we saw him earlier in this series pinch hitting and really unable to even get up the line and run out what might have been a closer play on Saturday night. On the ground to shortstop, and Nunez a little slow down the line here as well. One away to start the last of the fifth. Our Bud Light game summary. Cubs pitchers have been a real terror at the plate, and it continued tonight when Jake Arrieta took Madison Bumgarner deep in the top of the second, a 3-run home run.
This is an amazing scenario. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and something you would never expect in a playoff game, the pitcher hitting a 3-run homer.
One gone for Denard Span, who doubled and scored the Giants' lone run in the third. Credit Cubs pitching for sure, but the San Francisco lineup just has not been able to click in this series.
They were shut down in game 1 by Lester. They had the first 3 innings, a leadoff runner on, thrown out, stolen base, pickoff. They really haven't had much going other than that. They scraped up a couple runs in game 2. But they need their stars to be the people that get it going. Of course, Posey has had his success in division series. Pence, Belt. I would think right now what's looming against them is the fact that they have not scored against the Cubs relievers all year. Down only 2. I would love to get that number closer.
2 balls and a strike to count to Denard Span. That's ripped into right field. A lot of room out there, but Zobrist won't have enough room to haul it in. It's past him into Triples Alley. Span can run. He's into third easily. Denard Span doing some of the heavy lifting tonight. A double and now a triple here in the fifth.
Well, you mentioned it, Triples Alley. This is exactly a place you can go and run if you can run at all. Now it's up to Belt. Denard Span has done his job, put himself on third. Belt's got to get him in.
Brandon Belt's 0 for 2 so far tonight, 1 for 8 in the series. A golden opportunity for San Francisco here to make it a 1-run game.
Belt in the regular season, 39 at-bats with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, and he got a runner in 31 times. 9 strikeouts, hitting .436 in these situations.
First-time All-Star this year, hitless in his career against Jake Arrieta, and he's behind 0-2. He settled with a fly ball here. But the Giants have just not had a good time of it with runners in scoring position.
Denard expand. He's getting off third base. He's got the freedom to get off pretty far, anticipating something in the dirt. With Bryant in the shift so far from third base, he doesn't have to worry about a throwback from the catcher. So with the curveball or slider that Jake could throw, Denard's going to look for his chances if the ball gets away at all from Montero.
Same right side of the field overload. StatCast powered by Amazon Web Services. That's how they played Belt all series. 2-2 now. And Jake Arrieta has been known to uncork a wild one. In fact, this year, 16 wild pitches. That's the most in the National League.
Well, he's hard to hit and he's hard to catch with the way the ball moves, as much spin he creates. Those two pitches were the right idea, but it was nowhere close to entice Belt to go after it.
The 2-2. And Belt sends a shot out to right. Zobrist to make the catch. That's more than enough to tag and score Span. And the Giants are as close as they've been since the top of the first. There have been a couple of balls hit by the Giants on this night, John, that would have been real damage in about any other ballpark in the league. A couple of balls out to right center. Belt satisfied with the RBI sac fly, and it's a 3-2 affair.
I thought Jake had him exactly where he wanted. He went with the slider versus the curveball. Belt, a good low ball hitter. He was trying to elevate the fastball, and now the Giants are right back in it.
Here's Buster Posey now. San Francisco with 2 runs tonight. It's matched its run total from each of the first 2 games of this series combined. Shot back up the middle, another base hit. Buster Posey enjoying a perfect 3-for-3 night.
Well, besides a professional hitter, this is the approach he's had against Jake Arrieta, and it's the best approach so far. Don't try and do too much. Go right back up the middle. You saw the slider spin there. When the circle is bigger, that means the spin and the break are not going to be as big. The hitter sees that circle between the seams coming together. When it is tight, it creates a dot. And those are the ones that the Giant hitters have been swinging over the top and missing.
Cubs pitching coach Chris Bosio comes out. Justin Grimm is up in the Chicago bullpen. He is one of Joe Maddon's favorite weapons. As good against left-handed hitters as he is right. It'll be the right-handed hitting Hunter Pence here in the 5th with 2 out, a run in and a runner on. Pence is 0 for 2. But the ball he hit in the 3rd was one of those we mentioned earlier that would have been out of another ballpark. Allowed out to right field.
You're wondering why Pence would be taken right there. Most of the pitches he's been throwing against have been breaking balls, especially leading up to this series when you look at film. So you sometimes guess. He might have guessed wrong right there, thinking a slider or curveball was coming.
Pence into right. Zobrist makes the play on this one to retire the side. A run on a couple of hits. We played 5 complete. The Cubs on top by 1.
Did you say 97?
Yes.
You know, that reminds me of Geico's 97% customer satisfaction rating.
97%?
Helped by Geico's fast and friendly claim service. Huh.
Oh yeah, baby. Geico's as fast and friendly as it gets.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
At Cricket Wireless, we believe in smarter phones for all. Switch to Cricket and choose between the free Alcatel Streak and the free ZTE Sonata 3. Ask not what you can do for your network, ask what our great big network can do for you.
The 2016 postseason is here. MLBShop.com has you covered. On-field tees, hoodies, jerseys, caps, and more. Get your team's official gear now at MLBShop.com.
Hi, everybody. This is Pat Hughes. The Chicago Cubs are having one of their greatest seasons of all time. To commemorate this, BigTimeBats.com is releasing the 2016 Chicago Cubs team signature bat. The full-size bat will have the facsimile signatures of the Cubs team and their final regular season record on the bat. The bat is limited to 2016 individually numbered bats and sells for $129.95. Call Big Time Bats now at 1-866-280-BATS.
The new face of HR is surprisingly human, so give your employees a more human HR platform, namely payroll, benefits, talent management, and more. Our software makes it easy.
It's the best system I've ever used for anything related to operating a business. Everyone's interested in using it, and I get all my information.
You can really focus on strategy and content, which is really great for an HR director.
Namely, HR for humans. Schedule your free demo today at namely.com.
The Giants make the AT&T call to the bullpen for right-hander Derek Law, who was among their most reliable relief options during the regular season. Law pitched in Game 2 of this division series in Chicago on Saturday and brings a regular season ERA to 2.13 into action tonight. Javier Baez the first to face him, bottom third of the Chicago order. Hot shot to third. Gillespie can't handle it, and Baez will be safe leading off the inning.
This ball right here going to be made 9 out of 9 times. Gillespie already turning in a gem, but you can see the ball popping out of his glove right there, and Baez beating it out to first, running the whole way. And Derek Law, he is very deceptive with his delivery out of the windup. He has a curveball, changeup, and slider that you just saw right there. Hides the ball pretty good.
Miguel Montero, the hitter. Jake Arrieta in the on-deck circle, at least for now, to hit in his spot in the order. Baez reaching base to start the inning on the error. The first time the Cubs have had their leadoff hitter aboard in this game. For the Giants, a sure-handed defending team. Again, top fielding percentage in the National League during the regular season. It's their 4th error of the series. Little squibber, that's going to be a tough play. Law's got to hurry, throw to first, in time to get him. Nearly collided with Posey.
I'll tell you something right now, that's a pretty darn good play by the pitcher. Montero doesn't run very good, but it's in that no man's land. And as you mentioned, Posey coming out, giving way to the Derek, and nice play. This could have easily been chucked into the stands.
Yeah. So now Arrieta. And as the researchers have had time to proper contextualize his home run in the second inning, you've got to go back to 1967 to find the one and only instance where a pitcher had hit a home run in a postseason game off a World Series MVP. Arrieta's doing it against Bumgarner tonight, just the second time it had ever happened. Jose Santiago homered against Bob Gibson in Game 1 of the 6th-7th Fall Classic.
And I think he's going to hit here and not pitch anymore. I think because of the bench that Joe Madden has, he doesn't mind throwing him up there to hit with the lead, but then I think you're going to see him go to his bullpen after this.
Yeah, plenty of options down there, including the left-hander Mike Montgomery, who's hot.
And all those nuggets you just gave, I think the one amazing one is the first home run in 418 plate appearances against the pitcher, Madison Bumgarner. First home run he'd given up in 418 plate appearances.
Did I give that one?
No.
I think you
I just did.
That was good.
Yeah, I just did.
We knew that he hadn't homered against, or he hadn't given up one to a pitcher. I didn't know it had been that many plate appearances. That's amazing. 2 balls and a strike to count to Arrieta. Dexter Fowler waiting next. He's 1 for 3 tonight, 2 for 10 in the series. Law with a long pause. 2-2.
All right, look, I've seen enough swings. If I'm a pitcher out there, this 2-2 pitch better have a wrinkle on it.
He was on this fastball.
They're messing with a guy who's seeing it pretty good. Law's got a real good curveball, real good slider. No reason to throw anything else other than a breaking ball right here.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Jake Arrieta. And it's a full count now. There was your wrinkle.
Yeah, the curveball nowhere close to the plate, though, unfortunately. For the ultimate respect, you got to account for what he's been able to do. Throw a 3-2 slider here instead of challenging him with a fastball. I know it's against most conventional thinking, but it's not a conventional pitcher hitting.
Arrieta lines to left. Blanco gathers it in.
I'm telling you, he just got away with something. He just threw a fastball and he laced it to left field. Got to throw a wrinkle right here. Got away with it, but he squared it up.
So now Fowler. I'll tell you, the Cubs in this series are doing their best to permanently abolish the designated hitter. You know, you get to a point in the night, John, and you've been in this situation as a player on a number of occasions in your career where, you know, the temptation is on the home side, you're starting to count the outs you have left. It's a 1-run game, no question that this is right there for either team to claim. But we're moving into the bottom of the 6th inning shortly. And the Giants just running out of opportunity. I think what has to be of concern to San Francisco, in addition to running out of time, is the fact, and Bruce Bochy was very aware of it, we talked about it with him before the game, his team has not scored a run all year against the Cubs bullpen. All year.
Yeah, and I think that's over 32 innings too, so not a small sample size.
Two balls and no strikes to Fowler.
Here's the last pitch. Inside.
Fowler bounces that one foul wide of the bag, and it's 2-1. You could certainly make the case for the Cubs this year that as goes Dexter Fowler, so go the Cubs. In a day and age when leadoff hitters, true leadoff hitters, seem fewer and farther in between, Fowler has been exceptional. It's .433, or a on-base percentage of .433 in their wins, on base of .299 in their losses. Two and two now.
And it's a record when he plays that is astounding versus when he doesn't.
Chris Bryant waits on deck. 2 balls and 2 strikes. A runner in scoring position in the Cubs' half of the 6th. Laws pay off home. Misses for ball 4. Or does it? That's a full count now. It's 3 and 2.
I like what Baez has been doing at second base. His feel for the game, he's getting an aggressive lead, anticipating the swing with 2 outs, trying to get as big a jump as he can. You see Posey a couple times looked like he was going to come up throwing behind him.
Now it's a full count. Here's the payoff home. Baez reached on the error to start the inning. Law out of the stretch is next. 3-2 to Fowler. Again fouled away. An 8-pitch at bat for Dexter Fowler here, and that's been a part of the theme for the Cubs tonight.
Yeah, and especially with Fowler, Matt, he has found ways to get 10, 12, 13 pitch at bats before and just make it difficult because the guys behind him, the pitcher doesn't want to face Bryant right now. He's concentrating solely on making the best pitch he can to get out Fowler.
Derek Law pumped up. A strikeout leaves a runner in scoring position stranded and keeps it a 1-run game.
Hey, you're the...
I used to ask if you could hear me now, but I switched to Sprint.
I switched too.
Great.
Have you seen all the whining from Verizon?
I think Verizon the Goliath is panicking. People are switching to Sprint. All these networks are great now. People are tired of overpaying.
Sprint cut my rates by 50%.
Sprint's network covers nearly 300 million people, and their network reliability is within 1% of Verizon. Can you hear that?
Switch to Sprint and save 50% on most current Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rates.
Here I come! Hold still! Quit wiggling around. I got just the thing. A KFC $20 fill-up, now with extra crispy tenders. Feeling better, son? Yeah. But now, hold on, don't run and chew. I don't want to come back out here. It's finger-licking good.
Your car insurance policy is 22 pages long. Did you read every word? Nope. Only lawyers do that. So when you got rear-ended and you needed a tow, your insurance company told you to look at page 5 on your policy. Did it say, great news, you're covered on page 5? No. It said, blah, 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 blah.
The Liberty Mutual app with Coverage Compass makes it easy to know what you're covered for and what you're not. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Sure as God made green apples, someday the Chicago Cubs are going to be in the World Series, and maybe sooner than we think.
The Chicago Cubs select Chris Bryant, third baseman from the University of San Diego, California.
Towering blast for Chris Bryant. Way back. It's gone.
Good job, Walker!
To the bottom of the 6th inning, and Jake Arrieta back to work. He will face 3 left-handed hitting giants, Gillespie, Crawford, and Panik. The first of which sends the ball up the middle, backhanded by Baez, throw to first, in time to get him.
Oh my goodness. I don't think TV can do this any justice, by the way. We're going to try and show you how incredible this play was. Up the middle, slides, picks it up, and throws it off the back foot. And then Rizzo short hops it. That's unbelievable.
He is a special defender. He's had a heck of a series on both sides of the scorecard. And we're going to have a meeting on the field. Umpires getting together to take another look at this one. Oh, Anthony Rizzo came off the bag, folks. That last look gave us a great view. We won't be able to see as much there.
Rizzo goes wide to scoop it, and the question's going to be, at any point did that foot come off before the glove, ball in the glove? I still can't get over watching it live. What?
Yeah, they're showing it here on the big screen, and fans are reacting, seeing exactly what we see here, and that's that Anthony Rizzo did come off the bag. As John, as you mentioned, did he get back in time before Gillespie got there? If this call's overturned and Gillespie's safe, it's going to take away a real defensive highlight tonight. Baez with a magnificent play to make this as close as it was.
And again, you got to be able to tell without a doubt, right. And I think they're going to overturn this personally.
I would agree.
There's the distance right there from the bag, so that's probably the best view you get to see.
Well, we know this for sure. Mike Montgomery has been hot for about 2 innings down there, and right now he might have to kind of shorten himself up down there.
He's thrown at least 50 pitches. That's why I didn't think Jake was going to come out, and if this play stands and they overturn it, you wonder if Joe Maddon's going to go ahead and take the left-hander and put him in the game.
Well, when you consider Arrieta the 6th inning has been his undoing. Ball is upheld.
Wow.
Boy, the one view that we had from up top was a pretty good look. But apparently what we thought we saw was not enough to overturn the original call on the field. So there's one away. And it will go down as a defensive gem for Javi Baez. There's Brandon Crawford now. He's 0 for 2 tonight, 1 for 7 in the series. I mentioned the 6th inning for Jake Arrieta, and before we talk about that, let's go back to the play at first.
I don't know.
I mean, he's
I'm
off
sorry.
the bat there.
I don't know what they see there. So it's got to be clear and concise, and to overturn it, and probably in their view.
That's not clear enough.
I'm with you.
0-2 the count to Crawford. So back to Arrieta in the 6th inning. A 6th inning ERA over 6, his highest ERA by inning this year. But putting that leadoff hitter aboard to start the inning makes such a huge difference. Instead, 1 away, bases empty, and 1-2 to Crawford.
Well, when you're dominating like he did last year, your pitch effectiveness is going to be much better. I mean, you're going to not throw as many pitches per inning, and your jams are going to be less. This year, especially in the second half, he hit this spot that you're talking to about, and his pitch counts were way too high in the 6th and 7th innings.
Two balls and 2 strikes to the former UCLA standout, who comes from a long line of Giant fans. San Francisco fans certainly aware of Brandon's Bay Area background, his family season ticket holders dating back to the Candlestick Park days. And he's worked it to a 3-2 count. Still a full count to Crawford. Since 1995, there has been an 0-2 division series on 23 occasions. Only once has the team down 0-2 come back to win, and that was Bruce Bochy's 2012 Giants coming back from 0-2 to beat the Reds. Not to be outdone, the Giants have put together their share of long plate appearances tonight as well. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat to Crawford. On the ground is shortstop. And Crawford's opposite number takes care of him for round number 2. A reminder, tonight's telecast is sponsored by Bud Light. Raise one to right now. And by the Lincoln Motor Company. Ken Rosenthal has some clarification on what looked to be a controversial replay earlier this inning. Kenny?
Yes, Matt, here's what I've got from MLB. After viewing all relevant angles, the replay official could not definitively determine that the fielder's foot was off the base when the ball contacted the interior of his glove. The call stands. The batter is out.
There it is, by letter of the law. Something that may or may be talked about a lot tomorrow morning, depending on the next few innings tonight. 1-0 pitch to Joe Panik is fouled into the opposite corner.
Well, you know, the year that Jake is having, if this score were to hold up, it would only be the 4th game that he would win this year with a team not scoring 6 runs or more for him. 15 games, 15-0 in 16 games, the Cubs have scored 6 or more runs en route to his victories.
A one-hopper to shortstop. Russell gathers in this ball and caps off a 1-2-3-6 for Jake Arrieta. We're heading to the 7th inning tonight. Still a 1-run Chicago lead.
Pizza Hut makes the best pizza in the entire universe, but they won't tell you that. I've been marooned on this planet for a while now. You are an impressive race. Your children know excellent hiding places. Your oceans aren't filled with lava. And you figured out how to combine a grilled cheese sandwich with a Pizza Hut pizza. Surely interstellar travel will soon follow. And then I can finally get back home. Round. Round like home. The grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza. Proof that no one out-pizzas the Hut.
I'm Jamie Foxx for Verizon. In the nation's largest independent study by Root Metrics, again, Verizon is the #1 network.
Hi, I'm Jamie Foxx for Sprint.
And I'm Jamie Foxx for T-Mobile.
And we're just as good.
Really? Only Verizon was ranked #1 nationally in data, reliability, text and call, and speed.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fist pump today? Get out of my sight.
Don't get fooled by a cut-rate network. Verizon gives you tons of data without all the restrictions. Get 20 gigs and 4 lines for only $160 with no surprise overages on America's best network.
Remain in your home to hear an exciting bundle offer. All contracts are binding. You must comply.
We got a runner.
Hey! Follow me!
Better TV starts now.
PlayStation.
Meet the new face of late night sports talk, Katie Nolan.
It's my show. If you weren't paying attention, you're paying attention now.
Garbage Time with Katie Nolan on FS1.
Everyone say that I am too young to do my own thing, but I know they're wrong. You see, Mama not worried and Papa never did. I'm just a little bitty girl like a whole lot of kids doing my own thing. Check me out.
Find your perfect car, or the perfect car for her. Auto Trader, the only car search engine driven by you.
Leash tugging and pulling is a very common problem, many times resulting from overexcitement. Finally, there's a simple, effective, no-pull answer, Thunder Leash. When your dog pulls or reacts, Thunder Leash's ingenious, on-demand, no-pull design creates simple, safe pressure around your pet's torso. When your dog pulls, gentle pressure is applied. The result, no pulling.
She was pulling me off my feet. Now it's a completely different experience using the Thunder Leash. Two completely different dogs.
Retractable and standard versions now available at PetSmart, Petco, and other fine pet retailers.
Between innings, Jake Arrieta saying thanks to Javi Baez. Baez returning the favor, and Joe Madden with the big thanks as well, as it appears the starter's work is through tonight. Leaving with a one-run lead, top half of the 7th inning. Derek Law continues on the mound for San Francisco. He'll face the 2-3-4 part of the Cubs order, looking for some late insurance. Bryant, Rizzo, and Soler.
Yeah, Bryant's had a good night tonight. Great approach, double, walk, and a single. So getting him going would be huge. The next person and getting going for the Cubs, Rizzo.
A ball and 2 strikes the count. Pedro Strop has been up for a little while now. The next in line for Joe Madden, trying to get to his formula with Chapman at the end of the game. And a swing and a miss by Bryant. First time the Giants have been able to retire him tonight. Postseason baseball continues tomorrow on FS1. The Nationals take on the Dodgers in an elimination game for Los Angeles after they were upended at home today. And if needed, the Giants will again look to extend this series against the Cubs. We do know that the ALCS is whittled down to Toronto, having swept the Tigers, or the Rangers rather, and Cleveland, after a surprise sweep of the Boston Red Sox, able to hold on today. ALCS not what you may have thought it would be about a month ago, when it looked like Boston was the class of the league. Texas virtually unchallenged in the second half atop the AL West. But it's the Blue Jays and the Indians vying for the right to move on to the Fall Classic. 2-0 the count to Anthony Rizzo. You know, the Giants bullpen, much maligned in the month of September, has held up to Bruce Bochy's liking so far in the postseason. That hasn't been the problem. Stringing together hits and runs has. Law's 3-0 is in for a strike. More reinforcements ready. One of the 3 left-handers for Bruce Bochy, Javier Lopez, is hot. A full count now, 3-2.
Well, he's worked his way back into this count. Still can't give in to a hitter like Rizzo. Maybe a changeup here, 3-2. Oh, heater.
Rizzo with a little pop over the second base bag for Crawford. And there are 2 away.
You know, as a reliever, just watching Derek Law, you can pitch with this kind of emotion, get fired up after strikeouts, because it's a short sprint. He's pitching with a lot of that adrenaline. As a starter, you really can't afford. You got to maximize your energy. But right now, he is about as pumped up and fired up to get one more out. And you'll see it as he walks off the mound.
Jorge Soler has been quiet tonight, making his first start of this series. 0 for 3 thus far. Travis Wood has now joined Pedro Strop in the Chicago bullpen. When the Giants hit in their half of the 7th, they'll have the 8, 9, then top of the order hitters. Blanco, the pitcher spot, and the guy who's been their biggest threat tonight, Denard Span. Two balls and a strike to Jorge Soler. It's a 3-1 now. Ben Zobrist waiting on deck, batting in the 5 spot tonight for the first time in the series. Kind of neutralizes the matchup game in the bullpen. And Soler's aboard.
I'll let you be the judge here.
Pitch cast powered by MLB Advanced Media shows that to be a pretty good pitch.
Strike. They were more concerned on whether he swung or not.
Yeah. So here's Zobrist now. He's doubled in 3 trips. 2 for 10 in the series. The Cubs have been an exceedingly patient group at the plate this year. They led the National League with a franchise record 656 walks this season. Soler aboard on the 2-out walk, and Zobrist lifts a fly ball into center. Span has it, and the Giants have 9 outs left to try to keep their 2016 season alive.
Try to change me in any way. Don't tell me what to do. Just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you.
The new 2017 Corolla with Toyota Safety Sense Standard. Toyota, let's go places.
The hair on the face of a man is said to be as strong as copper wire. So what's a man to do? How about a razor with blades stronger than steel? The new Gillette Mach 3 is engineered to take on hair this tough. From metal stubble to manly stubble. The new Mach 3 with the world's #1 selling blades. Now starting under $10. Gillette, the best a man can get.
With Custom Ink, you can design custom t-shirts and other great products for every occasion. From the first day of school to game day and everything in between. With the best collection of styles and graphics to choose from, it's easy to go online and create custom t-shirts and more for all of life's events. Get free shipping and on-time delivery, guaranteed. Go to customink.com to get started today.
Esurance does auto insurance a smarter way, like their photo claims tool. It helps settle your claim quickly, which saves time, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call. Esurance does insurance a smarter way, which saves money, like bundling home and auto coverage, which reduces red tape, which saves money. And when they save, you save. That's home and auto insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
It has been a gorgeous night in the city by the Bay, a brilliant backdrop for postseason baseball. And if the Giants' season is to continue, they're down to their final 3 outs. 9 outs, rather, 3 of them coming here. Hey, part of their problem has been the Cubs pitching staff at the plate. Hendricks with a big knock. Wood with a home run, part of the Game 2 dialogue. And then here in San Francisco tonight, Jake Arrieta's 3-run home run still holding up as the difference in a 1-run affair. Who needs the DH? Say the Cub pitchers. And there is a new Cub pitcher here in the last of the 7th. Pedro Strop takes over for Jake Arrieta, done after 6 strong innings tonight. It's been a while for Strop. His last game activity coming on the final Saturday of the regular season, all the way back on October 1st.
Well, Strop, the only thing every once in a while, get a little fastball command issues, but that fastball is electric. Drops his arm in the delivery at times, and his slider pretty darn good when he has the tight spin. So he's going to come after you with that fastball slider combination. The guy waiting in the wings right there, Mr. Chapman, certainly going to come after you as well if he's given the opportunity with the lead.
Kenny, when this season began, we were talking about how if it gets to the late stages, late and close, the advantage in the bullpen game might go to the Cubs. The Giants bullpen has held up very well. And here we see the Cubs setup core in a 1-run game trying to get the game to Aroldis Chapman.
Well, Matt, this bears repeating. The Giants have yet to score off the Cubs bullpen in 2016. We're talking 32 1/3 innings in regular season and division series. That's about 3.5 games worth. Giants are batting .110 off the Cubs bullpen. 33 strikeouts, 5 walks, no homers.
There you see that arm action and that slider, the first 2. They get to the plate and drop late.
Joe Madden going to his prevent defense, bringing in his plus Gold Glove defender Jason Hayward to take over in right. Wilson Contreras, you saw him a moment ago, has taken over behind the plate for Miguel Montero.
You got to be ready. Even though Pedro pitches out of the stretch, you saw that quick pitch right there. He didn't complete his hands right when he went to the top. He went and tried to sneak a pitch like that.
There's a bouncer to first. Rizzo to Strop. There's 1 away. You know, we talked about the deal that sent Jake Arrieta to the Cubs from the Baltimore Orioles some 3.5 years ago. And if Lou Brock for Ernie Broglio was the cruelest of results for Cub fans, then the baseball gods made it up to the franchise when they traded Steve Clevenger and Scott Feldman to Baltimore for both Jake Arrieta and Pedro Strop, which goes down as one of the more lopsided deals in recent history.
If you think about it, both were struggling, right? So they had given their time there and figured, well, we're not getting what we wanted. Maybe we'll find something else. And what the Cubs found was 2 dynamic pitchers that have figured it out in a relatively short time.
Kelby Tomlinson is the pinch hitter, batting with the bases empty and 1 away. Now, Strop's been great for the Cubs. Opponent's batting average of 163 this year, 4th among National League relievers. The only blemish on his season, a little time on the disabled list with a left meniscus tear at the end of the season. Missed just over a month. 1-1 pitch to Tomlinson, lifted out to shallow right for Hayward, and 2 away.
And that, at the time, you know, the Cubs were rolling. They were going to be in the playoffs. They lost Stroke. They lost Rendon. And that comeback by Stroke from his injury, and Rendon coming back, has been an incredible strength to their bullpen.
Well, Joe Madden noting how hot Denard Span has been, wants a left-handed reliever to try to neutralize him. The call's gone out to Travis Wood. We'll be right back.
This is the new 2017 Chevy Cruze. I'm only going to show you half of it. What do you think?
I think it looks very sleek.
The lights remind me of Audi lights.
And it starts at $22,190.
Nice.
But there's another side to this car.
Oh, wow.
There's love
This is the first ever Chevy Cruze hatch.
Well, that's impressive.
Wow.
So check it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do like it a lot.
Now that you know it's a hatchback, what does it make you think of?
A young professional / weekend warrior. The whole business in the front, party in the back sort of thing.
Professor Langdon, we need your help.
Our population is out of control. The Inferno virus will be carried to every corner of the earth. Half the people will die.
He created a plague.
We took a package from his pocket.
Look, it's a clue. This map, it's a trail. Florence, Istanbul.
We have 48 hours.
Today is our rebirth.
If I can break the code, we can stop this.
Inferno, rated PG-13.
What? Is he gone? Finally! I thought he'd never leave.
Why are you texting my man at 2 a.m.?
If you want someone to leave you alone, you pretend like you're sleeping. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Taking selfies in the kitchen does not make you a model. Okay.
Modern life deserves a modern way to pay.
Hey, help. Dude.
You can use it online and on your phone.
Masterpassed it. XXXXL.
That's sweet.
Coming in for the save.
Thank you.
Priceless.
Want a napkin?
Masterpass, the secure way to pay from your bank. Don't just buy it, Masterpass it.
Wednesday on The Herd, Dana White will be live in studio. There's always fireworks when Dana sits down with Colin. You won't want to miss it. Wednesday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, only on FS1. Live every postseason moment and live it all with MLB.com at bat. The #1 app for live baseball. It's the only place to get it all. Radio feeds, video highlights, pitch tracking, StatCast, and more. Download at bat today.
For Denard Span, I would look to be real aggressive first pitch fastball. His splits are not as good. He hits better off of right-handers than he does left-handers. You see what Travis Wood has done on the year. I would be definitely looking to hit that first pitch.
Well, you certainly understand the matchup from the Cubs' perspective. Span has been red hot. He offers it the first pitch and lines it right into left field, where Zobrist puts it away to retire the side.
Hey, man, why aren't you streaming my game?
Hey, Bryce. I can't. See, I've got Verizon, and I've already reached my data limit.
You know this is the postseason, right?
Yeah,
you could be missing a classic.
You're killing me, man, but look, more data would cost me a fortune.
What if I just hit a walk-off bomb?
Nah, you didn't. Did you?
Why pay more for data limits? Introducing T-Mobile One. Unlimited data for everyone. Get 4 lines, just $35 a month. Welcome to Unlimited Baseball.
Is that iced tea?
Nope, it's lemonade.
Is that iced tea?
Lemonade.
Iced tea?
What's with these people, man? Lemonade. Read the sign. Lemonade. Read it.
Okay.
Delicious. Iced tea at a lemonade stand? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Marin saved by switching to Geico.
It's lemonade, man.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
What if one piece of kale could protect you from diabetes? What if one sit-up could prevent heart disease?
One.
Wishful thinking, right? But there is one step you can take to help prevent another serious disease, pneumococcal pneumonia. If you are 50 or older, one dose of the Prevnar 13 vaccine can help protect you from pneumococcal pneumonia, an illness that can cause coughing, chest pain, difficulty breathing, and may even put you in the hospital. Even if you've already been vaccinated with another pneumonia vaccine, Prevnar 13 may help provide additional protection. Prevnar 13 is used in adults 18 and older to help prevent infections from 13 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. You should not receive Prevnar 13 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. If you have a weakened immune system, you may have a lower response to the vaccine. Common side effects were pain, redness or swelling at the injection site, limited arm movement, fatigue, headache, vomiting, muscle or joint pain, less appetite, chills, or rash.
Get this one done.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 13 today.
In our quest to reach our greatest heights, we require focus, resolve, and the ability to grip the moment. For it is in these moments that we define ourselves by our determination to never let go. Falcon Tires, the official tire of Major League Baseball.
A one-run game. We go to the top half of the 8th inning. These guys have got the jack-o'-lantern, the Jiffy Pop popcorn. Reminder, people affected by severe weather and other disasters need your help now. To support those impacted by Hurricane Matthew, text Matthew to 90999 to give $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. Addison Russell opens the visitors' half of the 8th. A new pitcher on the mound for San Francisco. He is the big hard-throwing right-hander Hunter Strickland.
He's got a live arm. You saw the slider right there and the fastball. A lot of people in this organization at some point think he could be a closer for them. Of course, all the talk early on was his debut in the big leagues in the postseason. He gave up a few too many home runs. But he has rebounded nicely, and again, an electric arm at 99.
Russell, Baez, and Contreras here in the Chicago half of the 8th. Yeah, the home runs you're talking about came in the 2014 postseason. 6 home runs in 8 1/3 in his postseason debut. Silver lining to it was the Giants winning a World Series title that year.
But it says a lot for a guy to come back that next year, and I asked Bruce Bochy how he handled it in spring training. Did they have to talk to him? Did they have to say? Because that can just crush a young player. But he said he's handled it great. His mindset's been really good, and he's put in the work and having a really fine year, and certainly working his way up into possibly that spot one day and closing.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy is not a what have you done for me lately manager. Especially in regards to bullpen use. He'll run you right back out there, as he did with Strickland after his troubles. Swing and a miss by Russell, and there's one away.
That's the pitch he was missing before, and if you just in the big leagues are confined to just one pitch and they don't have to respect the other, you're going to give up your share of fly balls, and in his case home runs. But now that the slider's coming into the mix, the hitters really can't just sit on a fastball all the time.
Javier Baez has singled, scored, and reached on an error tonight. Made a phenomenal play up the middle earlier in this ballgame. A ball and no strikes to him here with one away.
See, that's a great pitch. That has more of an effect to a hitter when you move his feet and he says, whoa, 100 miles an hour inside. Close enough to be a strike. Now you can follow it up with a slider if you want. Or go right back in there.
Into the opposite field for Pence. And Baez is retired. So we'll get our first look at Wilson Contreras at the plate in this ball game, the rookie catcher who came on as a late defensive replacement tonight. And just when it had looked as though Wilson Contreras was wearing down at season's end, he finished the year in great shape. and has gone 2 for 3 in limited duty so far in this best-of-5 division series.
We talked earlier about the job that Theo Epstein had done in the draft and not missing on anybody.
Yeah.
But somebody's doing a good job in the minor leagues preparing these guys to be major leaguers. Because when they come up, not only are they mature to handle the situations, but they're playing multiple positions. This is a catcher that has played a couple positions in the big leagues. First at bat in the big leagues, of course, he hits a pinch hit home run. They're not caught up with what's presented them.
A ball and a strike.
I mean, it's rare, and you hear about all the things that Bryant, man, he didn't get called up in the regular season debut and everyone was up in arms. But we all knew about his power. Sometimes it doesn't always translate. It did immediately. The amount of home runs he's hit in 2 years, only 6 other guys are in that category with the quantity that he's hit. And the list keeps going on for the Cubs. They keep bringing up young players that contribute.
You know, and let's face it, a lot of that is Joe Madden, because sure, Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer and the Cubs front office staff have found great players. They have drafted and developed brilliantly, but Joe has done his part in putting those players in a position to succeed. Addison Russell batted 5th this year only after Joe Madden was sure that he could do it, as you see general manager Jed Hoyer there.
And you know what's amazing, both managers do it in unique but drastically different ways. Bruce Bochy, loyalty, calmness, doesn't have to say a whole lot. Madden, his sayings, his antics, all the different innuendos, both leading their teams to the position they're in right now with strength and respect.
Strickland looking for a 1-2-3 top of the 8th. Is 2-2 to Contreras and a full count now, 3-2. 100 miles an hour on that ball 3. When the Giants bat in their half of the 8th, they'll have Belt, Posey, and Pence, the heart of their order. And we're assuming against that man, the former closer, Hector Rondon. And there's ball 4.
See what Posey right there on 3-2 tried to give him a higher slider target. You don't see that very often. The reason he did that is the last couple were bouncing. Here's the target, slider, right? You'd think that's a fastball. He's trying to get his sights up to deliver that pitch close enough to a strike so that he could entice Contreras into swinging.
So a 2-out base runner now for Jason Hayward. Hayward 1 for 7, having started the first 2 games of the series. A late defensive replacement tonight. As challenging a year as it was for Jason Hayward offensively, he did his best work at the plate late in ball games. He hit 283 in the 7th inning or later, compared to a 206 average from innings 1 through 6. It's 1-1.
Jason Hayward has struggled hitting velocity, hitting fastball, well below the league average in fastballs when thrown and put in play. And I would think this case right here, Strickland stays right with it, as you saw Posey trying to get again the higher target. Getting the old throw over, looks like right there.
Yeah, to your point regarding Hayward versus the fastball, he hit 245 against fastballs this year. The major league average is 277. And the league pays attention to that. He saw the third highest percentage of fastballs among all qualified hitters. That's fouled out of play to put Hayward behind a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, it isn't for now, and it isn't for the foreseeable future as far as how many games they have left in the postseason for the Cubs. But Jason's going to have to go in the offseason and really, really retool the mechanics of his swing in order to turn this around for the future of him and the Cubs.
A ball and 2 strikes to Jason Hayward with Dexter Fowler waiting on deck. Strickland gives Contreras a look. Now he's ready on a ball and 2 strikes. Wow. Did not miss by much.
Just a bit outside.
It's a nice take by Hayward. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. There goes Contreras, and that one's fouled away again.
Well, I went with the slider there, and I think in that situation you give him a chance to catch up a little bit. After the slider, I would go right back to the fastball up over the middle of the plate. Hayward's popped up a lot of fastballs.
Just go major league on him.
Yep.
Throwing the heater, Ricky. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Hayward. Contreras runs again, and again it's fouled away. There was 99.
And that's the spot he can't catch up. I mean, a lot of guys can't catch up, but that pitch up was perfectly located. He wanted it up, and that's exactly where he threw it. And based on where Hayward has his hands and his trigger of when he fires the bat, just not able to catch up.
Contreras again running, and there's a swing and a miss to wrap up the 8th. A couple of strikeouts for Hunter Strickland. Belt, Posey, and Pence as the Giants still trail by a run.
The exhilarating 2017 Lincoln MKZ for $349 a month, only at your Lincoln dealer.
Stop! With that box, you'll be the first to win PlayStation VR. Player 1. Soon, it spreads like wildfire. Humanity becomes so plugged in, we never see them coming. That's why I was sent back to stop you.
Oh, hey, I won.
Right.
The future of gaming starts at Taco Bell. Grab any $5 box and you could be one of the first to win PlayStation VR.
Hi, gray skies are gonna clear up. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Spread sunshine all over the place. And put on a happy face.
Many sleep aids have pain medicine, but ZzzQuil is different. Because why would you take a pain medicine when all you want is good sleep? ZzzQuil, a non-habit-forming sleep aid that's not for pain, just for sleep.
What's cooking, Chief?
We gotta ship this oil portrait to the law office of Carver and Sons in Philadelphia.
When the unexpected strikes, will you be ready? Join the over 1 million small businesses who trust the Hartford to help them stay in business.
There are some voices that can't be ignored.
You come at the king, you best not listen.
It's time to grow up.
Culture of winning matters.
We're watching a revolution. Speak for yourself. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on FS1.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
T-Mobile One lets MLB fans dig into the game with unlimited LTE data on their smartphone. Show us how you're a baseball fan by using hashtag #UnlimitedBaseball for a free MLB Shop gift code and the chance to win tickets to every 2017 World Series game. Travis Wood continues after throwing one pitch to end the bottom of the 7th, and he's going to have to run the gauntlet here in the Giants' half of the 8th. Belt, Posey, and Pence in a one-run game. Brandon Belt had a sac fly in the last of the 5th that brought it to 3-2. And the Giants still dealing with that same deficit here in the last of the 8th.
Brandon Belt's done okay against left-handers, actually a higher average than right-handers. If you have a curveball, you better throw it versus a slider or a sinker, because that's where he does his damage against left-handers who throw sinkers. Curveball is the Achilles heel.
Into the hole and into left field. The tying run on base to start the 8th.
There was a sinker, and he stayed right on it. He doesn't give way much to left-handers. Watch this pitch right here, and he just goes the other way with it. And that's going to be it for Mr. Wood. You don't know it, but he's super excited right now, Bruce Bochy.
He has waited patiently for his lineup to come alive. Cubs will make a pitching change. Tying run aboard to start the last of the 8th. We'll be right back.
Heroes like the Avengers protect the world from physical dangers. We safeguard it against more mystical threats.
Come with me.
Why are you showing this to me?
Because I believe you can save the world and defend it from those who would make it their own. Are you ready, Mr. Strange?
It's Doctor, actually.
Rated PG-13. Get tickets now. Where does beer get all its colors? Let's spin the wheel of malt. The more you roast malt, the darker beer gets. Pale malt makes, well, pale beer with a mild honey taste. Next spin, gently roasted malt. That adds caramel color and flavor. One more, dark malt makes dark beer with chocolate or coffee notes. Sam Adams brews 60 beers from dark to light. And the sweet spot in the middle, Boston Lager. For the love of beer.
I'm Jamie Foxx for Verizon. In the nation's largest independent study by Root Metrics, again, Verizon is the #1 network.
Hi, I'm Jamie Foxx for Sprint.
And I'm Jamie Foxx for T-Mobile.
And we're just as good.
Really? Only Verizon was ranked #1 nationally in data, reliability, text and call, and speed.
Yeah.
And you're gonna fist pump today? Get out of my sight.
Don't get fooled by a cut rate network. Verizon gives you tons of data without all the restrictions. Get 20 gigs and 4 lines for only $160 with no surprise overages on America's best network.
Audi pilotless vehicles have conquered highways, mountains, and racetracks. And now, much of that same advanced technology is found in the Audi A4. With one notable difference. The highly advanced Audi A4 with available traffic jam assist.
Postseason baseball continues tomorrow on FS1. Game 4 of the Nationals-Dodgers series with Los Angeles facing elimination. And if the Giants can come back and win tonight, Game 4 of this division series tomorrow. The tying run aboard to start the last of the 8th. The Cubs make a pitching change. Their third reliever tonight. Hector Rondon takes over on the mound, facing Buster Posey with the tying run aboard. Posey has enjoyed a perfect 3-for-3 evening. And Rondon starts it with a strike.
Rondon's got a great arm, slider. You saw right there at 86. You see the numbers on the year. Didn't have a ton of save opportunities because this team was blowing everybody out.
Rondon tough on left-hander, or rather right-handed batters this year, limiting right-handed hitters like Buster Posey and Hunter Pence next to just a .200 batting average. A ball and a strike.
Well, Sid, when it was 3-0, if the Giants could grind their way back into the game, that's what they have. There's no give in this team, and that's why their manager has instilled a quiet confidence in each one of them. They've been in a ton of these situations.
A 1-1. Chicago had some opportunities to add on after the 3-run home run by Jake Arrieta in the second. They left 2 runners stranded in the third and have left the runner aboard every subsequent inning save the 5th.
Looks like Derek Law has not expended all the energy he has pitching. He's still up there, fired up.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Buster Posey. Yeah, Derek Law has turned into the ML Carr of the 2016 Giants. Chief towel waver. Full count now.
Well, 3-2. Do you trust Buster Posey, who doesn't run well, and send the runner to stay out of a double play, trusting that he will not strike out? That's why you get paid the big bucks to make these decisions as the manager.
Rondon issued fewer walks per 9 than any other Cubs reliever this year. Only 8 free passes in 51 innings of work out of the bullpen.
I tell you, it depends on his confidence, but I would be so tempted to throw a 3-2 slider right here to one of the best hitters on the Giants.
Belt runs. And there's ball 4.
I'm telling you, that's the right pitch. It just wasn't close enough. You see, Posey wants to attack and wants to get the ball in play, and he just holds up. If that pitch is a little bit higher, I don't know, the result would be the same, and he'd be able to check that swing. So the right pitch just didn't execute it high enough, and the patience of Posey being able to stay back long enough. Now the Giants are in business.
First and second, nobody out. Hunter Pence, the batter. 2 of his 3 plate appearances tonight have resulted in loud outs to right field, and Joe Maddon's coming out with the lineup card, and it doesn't look like Rondon's going to have a chance to face him. How about this? Joe Maddon's going to Aroldis Chapman for what would amount to a 6-out save. Wow. Here comes the closer. We'll be right back.
Right. Okay. Well, this here's a load-bearing wall. We'll go ahead and rip that out. It's going to cause a lot of problems. Totally unnecessary, and it triples the budget.
We'll be way behind schedule, right?
Schedules.
Schedules.
Great. Okay.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone said what they meant? The Citi Double Cash Card does. It lets you earn double cash back. 1% when you buy and 1% as you pay. The Citi Double Cash Card. Double means double.
Pizza Hut makes the best pizza in the entire universe, but they won't tell you that. I've been marooned on this planet for a while now. You are an impressive race. Your children know excellent hiding places. Your oceans aren't filled with lava. And you figured out how to combine a grilled cheese sandwich with a Pizza Hut pizza. Surely interstellar travel will soon follow. And then I can finally get back home. Round. Round like home. The grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza. Proof that no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Remain in your home to hear an exciting bundle offer. All contracts are binding. You must comply.
We got a runner.
Hey! Follow me!
Better TV starts now.
PlayStation. This is the new 2017 Chevy Cruze. I'm only going to show you half of it. What do you think?
I think it looks very sleek.
The lights remind me of Audi lights.
And it starts at $22,190.
Nice.
But there's another side to this car.
Oh, wow.
Larry loves
This is
it.
the first ever Chevy Cruze hatch.
Well, that's impressive.
Wow.
So check it out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do like it a lot.
Now that you know it's a hatchback, what does it make you think of?
A young professional / weekend warrior. The whole business in the front, party in the back sort of thing.